Episode 138, Old Boston Irish Pubs. I am Rod Murphy, and this is Growing Up Poor in Irish Boston, a series of my 1950s era Irish Boston jokes, songs, history, and stories. There are an estimated 7,000 Irish pubs worldwide. They have become the unofficial embassies for Irish culture, especially in places with large expat communities or heavy tourism. McSorley's in New York, Finn McCool's in New Orleans, Molly Malone's in Chicago, The Drunken Poet in Melbourne, Australia, Irish Murphy's in Sydney, Australia, the Old Shillelagh in London, and the James Joyce in Prague are a few. My brother Gary lived in Paris most of his life. When I visited him, he would show me the city and we would walk the streets of Paris. Very long and interesting walks, often involving short breaks on the metro. During one of my visits, he took me to an Irish pub, O'Sullivan's Rebel Bar, that he frequented. This was about 1975 during what was called the Troubles in Northern Ireland. This pub was a refuge for Northern Irish rebels fleeing the British justice system. Kind of like a specialty mixed CIA hangout in Washington, D.C. Eye-opening for me. Boston in the 1930s was deeply shaped by its large Irish-American population, particularly in neighborhoods like Southie, Dorchester, Charlestown, and the South End. These areas were working-class strongholds for Irish immigrants and their descendants, where neighborhood bars and taverns served as social hubs for community politics and relaxation. Those establishments were not necessarily restaurants that served meals along with the booze. The era overlapped the Prohibition that went from 1920 to 1933, during which alcohol was illegal nationwide. Many establishments operated covertly as speakeasies or fronted as cafes or grocery stores, especially in Irish communities. After repeal in late 1933, bars reopened legally, and the pub culture flourished again. During Prohibition, Boston had an estimated 4,000 speakeasies, up from 1,000 legal bars in pre-1920, many in Irish neighborhoods. South Boston's Irish Gustin gang controlled bootlegging, booze, and hijacking in those areas. There are two notable mixed saloons that stand out. In the South End, J.J. Foley's Cafe opened in 1909. Founded by Kerry Bond Jeremiah Foley, it is regarded as Boston's oldest continuously operating Irish family-owned pub. It served the local Irish community, and during Prohibition, it survived by operating discreetly. It remains a landmark today. Another early Irish pub was Paddy's Lunch in Cambridge. It opened in 1934, just after Prohibition, by Irish immigrants Patrick and Margaret Fennell. It became a classic family-run pub, pouring Guinness and serving comfort food, catering to Irish Americans and locals. Pubs reopened or expanded, focusing on beer, whiskey, and community gatherings. Irish pubs are simple, no-frills spots, emphasizing hospitality or craic, as we call fun. Modern historic Irish pubs like the Erie Pub in Dorchester and the L Street Tavern in South Boston trace roots to later decades, but that reflect the same neighborhood tradition that existed in the 1930s. Irish Mafia boss Whitey Bulger owned a Southie joint called Triple O's. He had an interest in another pub in Savin Hill called Savin Hill Pub and Kitchen. There are also Irish clubs and associations in Boston, like the Irish Social Club in West Roxbury, the Irish Cultural Center in Canton, the Irish Society of Boston, the Irish Pastoral Center in Dorchester, Comhaltas Iran in Boston, the South Boston Irish American Society, the Irish Network in Boston, and the Boston Irish Tourism Association. Contemporary Irish pubs near Boston are now multifold. The Cora Pub in Brighton, Malachy's and the Irish Village in Quincy, O'Leary's in Brookline, and the Burren in Somerville are a few. Cambridge, my hometown, has at least two. McCarthy's and Toad in Border Square and the Druid in Inman Square. That appeared in the movie Good Will Hunting. My Irish pub haunts now are further west, like Boland's on Worcester's Water Street. They have sessions every Sunday afternoon and many other live music events too. The Irish Cultural Center in West Springfield is a favorite also. The Irish pub scene was and is about music, politics, sports, lots of lively discussion. Also, it is just daily life, all of which unfolds over pints. This is Rod Murphy. Thank you for viewing or listening to my YouTube and podcast episodes. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy them, please hit the subscribe button. Does not cost you anything, and it helps me to grow my audience. Again, my thanks.